just had the most amazing conversation with someone that I truly admire and respect. Her name is Sarah McCrum. She's the author of Love Money, Money Loves You. And this time we dove into the relationship between wealth and well-being. I'm not going to share the incredible insight that she brought to this interview because you can listen to that on the Next Level Living Summit where she's going to be speaking. However, what I want to sort of tease out was a eureka moment that I had and how perfectionism is keeping super high achieving, intelligent, smart women small. So she mentions during that interview four currencies of wealth. She mentions money, time, wisdom, and relationships. And so I was thinking, if these are the currencies of wealth and one is a perfectionist, perfectionism is actually affecting all of those four. So anybody who's been a perfectionist before, I used to pride myself on by calling myself a perfectionist. I thought it was actually a strategy for success, not knowing that it was actually shooting me in the foot. So let's start with time. If you're a perfectionist, then you know, like I do very well, and this is no shame, no blame, it is what it is, that when you go into that mode of perfectionism, you double check, triple check. You create and create and create and put things in the drawer because they're just never ready, right? So instead of creating momentum when you have the ideas, you have the downloads, presenting, getting feedback, making them better, you waste one of the most precious resources, which is time. So we can all own that. And so because you're wasting so much time in this doing and double and triple checking, it's then biting into and stealing time from things that you love, people that you love, and maybe even other projects that you could have invested in that would have yielded returns in so many ways. So that's how perfectionism is holding you back time-wise. Now, in terms of how it's holding you back in when it comes to your money, I just mentioned that as a perfectionist, you are not launching as it comes to you. You are double checking, triple checking, and never feeling enough and putting it in the drawer. So whilst other people would have launched what they had, gotten feedback, maybe failed, gotten feedback, and launched something, and now are reaping the benefits of simply having something because the world is waiting for it. The world never heard about you. You never did to present it to them. So they don't know that you have a solution that's three times better than what they have on the market because it's in your drawer and you feel it's never enough. So you not only rob yourself of money, you're robbing other people of the value that you are absolutely capable of giving to them. And why? Because you are so scared of criticism. You hear criticism as negative, as something that's so painful and hurtful that you're walking around with perfectionism, which is nothing other than a shield to protect you because you never want to feel the shame of, I am wrong. And that's something I truly understand. There was a time I used to feel like my results were me. I didn't make a distinction, as opposed to understanding that you are you. You're intrinsically worthy of love, admiration, all of the goodness, and you then deliver results. And sometimes those results will not be what is required. You get feedback and you fill the gap. But if you start looking at your results as yourself, each time you get the feedback, you feel as if it's a knife piercing through your heart and your literal identity is being torn apart because your project was criticized. All of you who know exactly how I feel, raise your hands. And so this is why you're now losing money because you're so focused on avoiding the pain of criticism that you're not focused on the positive value that you could actually have been delivering and thus the wealth you could have been generating. So those who are wealthy in the market are not necessarily the best. They're those who basically have the audacity to show up and share what they have, are open to taking the feedback. And then when they get the feedback, they don't crumble and collapse. They take it, they integrate it, they make it better, and they move forwards. So now we know how perfectionism is affecting not only yourself, your life in terms of your time, which is a huge, beautiful resource, but also money. Now, how does perfectionism affect your relationships? If you're a perfectionist, as I said, it's affecting your time. So you may not have as much time as you would have loved or you would love to spend with the people that you actually love to spend time with. And this could create tension, resentment, even guilt for yourself, right? People who feel that, oh, your work is always more important or something else is more important than that relationship. And if those people are people who value quality time, that's their love language, then although it's not true, they may begin to feel unloved by you, which creates even more tension and more misunderstanding because you're like, but I love you. But they don't feel loved because that time resource is not being invested in them. Another way it could affect your relationships is if everything has to be in a certain way, the way you see it, right? And so when people do things in a way that's not exactly as you envisage or you feel is necessary for you to feel safe from criticism, then you then either go and do it after them or you ask again and again and again, and they can just not meet your standard. And so they get frustrated. So this could affect your relationships not only at home, but could also affect your relationships at work, where you become the person who's never satisfied, who's never happy. And the issue with that is that after a while, the way some people respond is that, okay, as you're never happy, I'm not even going to try. And that leaves you even more frustrated. Just be aware that if you're coming from an energy of perfectionism where it has to be a certain way in order to feel safe, then you may actually be shooting yourself in the foot because then you will jeopardize a relationship and then not feel safe because that relationship is important to you. And now there's tension there. Okay. So where is that line? It's a fine line between excellence and perfectionism. Excellence is focused on creating the best value, doing the best, and it's absolutely not focused on, oh, what will people say and what if I get a criticism? That doesn't matter. Bring the feedback, bring the criticism, because when you are in the mode of excellence, you're thinking to yourself, that's great. I will use that to my advantage and build an even better product, process, service, whatever it may be. And then in terms of wisdom, if you're so focused on yourself and how you feel and how you want it and how it's got to be, then you're not in wisdom. You're not in the wisdom that's required to create healthy relationships. So, yes, as I just mentioned, excellence is great, but you require wisdom to determine when is it that I have now crossed into perfectionism, which is self-protective, which is self-focused, which is about me, myself, and I, or when I am still in excellence, which is about creating the best for the benefit of all. And of course, that feels good too. So I would love to know which of these four things do you feel that you're lacking the most when it comes to the experience of well-being? Is it time? Is it money? Is it wisdom? Or is it relationships? The reason why it's important to identify is because, as you know, you may have heard me say before, when it comes to any transformation process, we have four superpowers. Number one is awareness. You've got to see it. Number two is surrender, accepting exactly where you are today without any shame, blame, or guilt. Number three is then choosing with intention where you get to shift, right? And then number four It's practicing so we then stay on the new frequency, the new level of wisdom, the new identity, so that we can become the woman who has what she wants. And why is this extremely important? This idea of well-being. It's so important because as you take the action to create the wealth, so to have, you want to show up from a state of being that is amplifying that action so that it becomes easier, so you can relax more, so you can enjoy more, so you can love it more, instead of coming from a state of lack of well-being, a state of stress where any action that you take is steeped in resistance, and so you have to do so much more to achieve even less. All right. All my perfectionists out there, understand that perfectionism is a protective mechanism that you build at some stage in your life. There's no reason to feel bad or shame or guilt. It is simply a moment to recognize and to celebrate that you're aware of it and to understand that you are not a perfectionist. I'm now shifting language to a higher level. You have a perfectionist saboteur. When I shifted my relationship with perfectionism, understanding I have that saboteur. I sometimes show up with that saboteur, but I can choose to show up differently from a sage perspective of excellence. That was the most liberating understanding ever. It also supported me in improving my well-being because I was able to love myself even and in spite of my saboteur. Having it, it wasn't me. I have it, it is not me. So, where do you show up with your perfectionist saboteur? And what is it costing you right now in your life? And what would you prefer? Love and light, Bully T.